She begged at the same junction every morning, not because she was lazy, not because she was mad, but because she once loved her children more than her own life. In one busy city, there was a woman everyone knew, but nobody truly understood. Every morning, she appeared at the same dusty junction with an old bow in her hand. Her clothes were torn, her feet were bare, her hair looked like it had never seen a comb in years. People avoided her. Some threw coins at her out of pity. Others laughed and called her mad. But what made people talk the most was this: her children were not poor. They were successful, respected, and living a comfortable lives. Some people whispered whenever they saw them. How can children be so heartless? They said. What kind of people allow their own mother to beg on the street? But the truth behind that woman's suffering was far deeper than anyone could imagine. Because long ago, that mother made a decision that would change all their lives forever. The rain was falling the day Ngozi buried her husband, not the loud kind of rain that washes dust from the road, the kind of rain that soaks into your clothes quietly, the way grief soaks into your soul without asking permission. Her husband, Chinedu, was a quiet man, a trader, honest, hardworking. He wasn't rich, but he was present. Every morning before dawn, he washed his face with cold water, tied his worn slippers, and kissed Ngozi on the forehead. Every evening, no matter how tired he was, he lifted his children into his arms like they were treasures. When he died suddenly from a short illness, Ngozi's world collapsed. There was no warning, no time to prepare. One week he was coughing, the next week he was gone. She was left with two children, Mandy and Charles. Mandy barely 6 and Charles, who had just turned 4. That night, after the burial, when the last mourner had left and the compound was silent, Ngozi sat on the bare floor of their small apartment. She clutched her children to her chest, listening to their breathing, feeling their rims through their thin clothes. Her voice choked as she whispered into the darkness, God, please don't let us die after this. She did not know the death would come in another form. Chinedu had brothers, men who laughed loudly during the burial, men who slapped Ngozi's shoulder and said, be strong, men who smiled too much. They said, we are family. You are not alone. For 2 weeks, they came around. They ate her food. They discussed plans. Ngozi relaxed. She believed them. Then one morning, they returned, not with sympathy, but with decisions. They took the shop. They took the land documents. They took the car Chinedu bought on installment. They even took the old sewing machine Ngozi used to manage a small income. Ngozi stood shaking in the corner, holding her daughter's hand, her son clinging to her wrapper. When she cried and begged, one of them said coldly, you are just a woman. Everything here belongs to our blood. Another added, you will remarry. This is not your home anymore. Her knees hit the ground. By nightfall, Ngozi and her children were sitting outside with only 2 bags of clothes. The street light flickered above them. That was the day poverty officially adopted them. Life became a long, humiliating journey. Ngozi hugged sachet water under the sun until her neck burned. Sometimes she washed clothes for people who insulted her. Sometimes she begged at junction, hiding her face in shame. Her children stopped school more than they attended. Hunger became their daily visitor. Some nights they ate once, some nights they slept with empty stomachs. There were nights the children slept crying, asking, "Mommy, are we going to eat tomorrow?" Ngozi would turn her face to the wall so they wouldn't see her tears. She cried quietly, not to wake them, not to wake the neighbors, not to wake God, who already seemed distant. Years passed like this. One evening at the market, Faith remembered Ngozi. She was squatting beside her goods when a shadow fell in front of her. A familiar voice whispered, "Ngozi." She looked up slowly. It was Amara, her childhood friend, dressed well, glowing, confident, and success. Amara stared for a long moment before whispering again, "Ngozi, is this really you?" Ngozi couldn't speak. She broke down right there in the market. That night, over sheep rice and watery stew, Ngozi poured out everything. The death, the betrayal, the hunger. Amara listened quietly. Then she said the words that would change everything. "I know someone." Ngozi frowned. "A native doctor." That night, after Amara mentioned the native doctor, Ngozi could not sleep. Her children slept peacefully beside her, unaware of the decision their mother might soon make. Ngozi stared at the ceiling fan a long time. Her mind was filled with questions. What if the native doctor was lying? What if the price was too terrible? What if things became even worse? But another thought slowly pushed those fears aside. She remembered the nights her children cried from hunger. She remembered the shame of being chased away when she begged for work. She remembered how helpless she felt when she could not provide even the simplest things for them. Slowly, she realized something painful. If life continued this way, her children might suffer forever. And that thought frightened her more than anything else. The shrine was deep into the forest. The air was heavy. The silence was frightening. The native doctor listened without blinking. After a long silence, he said, "Your children will be rich, very rich." Ngozi's heart jumped. Then he added, "But you will never taste that wealth." Her heart skipped. He continued slowly, clearly. "You will go mad in the eyes of men. You will beg. You will remain poor and pitiful. If your children help you, their wealth will disappear." Ngozi trembled. Is there no other way? Ngozi thought of her children's future. Clean clothes, education, respect. She closed her eyes. She nodded. That night, she sacrificed herself. Years passed. Her children grew. Suddenly, opportunities followed them. The boy became a successful businessman. The girl married well, owned properties, and lived abroad. Money followed them like shadows follows body. And Ngozi, she became the mad beggar woman at the junction. Dirty clothes, barefoot, white hair. People mocked her children openly. Is that not your mother? You people are wicked. You used her for a money ritual. Her children secretly tried to help her. She refused food, refused shelter, screamed and ran away. They were confused, broken, ashamed. One rainy night, Ngozi returned home unexpectedly. She sat calmly. Her eyes were clear. For the first time in years, she spoke like herself. She told them everything: the shrine, the condition, the sacrifice. Her children wept uncontrollably and held her. "We forgive you, mommy." That night, the wealth disappeared. Accounts froze. Businesses collapsed. Properties were seized. They returned to the village, poor again. Years later, the son applied for a job out of desperation. He did not expect anything. Months passed. Then one day a call came. An interview. Not just any job, a CEO position. No ritual, no sacrifice, no condition, just grace. Ngozi lived to see her children succeed, this time with her by their side. Some sacrifices bring wealth, but only love brings peace. If you enjoy this story, subscribe to my channel for more.